Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining our webinar. I'm Jason Steinberg, CEO of Scanifly, and we're excited to share with you the exciting news about the integration of Scanifly and SubcontractorHub. In case you missed it, we first announced our partnership in early September. For our presentation today, we're going to dig into the details of the integration, how it works, why we did it, and what the implications are for your business in the solar industry. We'll keep it pretty casual and informal. The webinar is being recorded in case you missed some of it. And feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar. We're going to try to address them either in real time or at the end. We'll have a devoted period. And just make sure to put them in the Q&A box, not in the chat. The Q&A is where we'll see them, and we'll keep it more structured. To start, I want to introduce you to some industry people and some images to help illustrate their day-to-day. And I encourage you to have a good laugh as we go. This is Sam the surveyor. He's been in solar for a few years, and when he's not on the roof, you'll probably find him hiking or gaming. Sam spends his days outdoors, sometimes in the rain, sometimes in the scorching heat. He's taping, he's collecting measurements, and he's mapping out roofs. Sam is instructed to capture every vent pipe, attic fan, and roof penetration, jotting notes on whatever paper he can find stuffed under his car seats, and snapping pictures with his iPhone around the property. By day's end, he's probably visited approximately 3 sites, with 5 hours of windshield time. It's not an easy job for him, but Sam is dedicated to getting it done right, even with the challenges. Now meet Denise, the designer. She studied civil engineering, and she's all in on learning the ropes for solar. She's working toward her NAPSEP associate and thrives on getting into the details, though hitting her quota of 8 designs a day can be a little stressful for her. When she gets Sam's notes from the field, they're not always legible, so she has to rely on the photos pretty heavily that he collects. Now, there is some missing data at times, so she'll look to Bing Maps or LiDAR scans. It's not perfect, but it works. And despite the workflow headaches, Denise does her best to ensure that the design works for everyone, both the customer, the sales rep, the installer, and the reality of what can actually fit on site. Redesigns do happen, though. Last up is Oscar, the ops manager. He's been in solar for over a decade and started with door-to-door sales before moving into ops. He's got a background in architecture and is Six Sigma certified. Oscar's all about getting projects moving and believes strongly in the value of on-site inspections, no matter the roof or weather. Old school is what they call him. For Oscar, speed to PTO is the name of the game, but he always tries to keep change orders low, right? If accurate enough gets the job done, and keep sales rolling, he's fine with that, even if it means a 25% revision rate. So it's not perfect, but in solar, hey, sometimes good enough keeps the lights on. So folks like Sam and Denise and Oscar are who Scanifly has historically worked closest with. These 3 people and installers drive the post-sales operations process. We like to say that Scanifly powers a revision-free PV design for quality-obsessed contractors, making the solar workflow faster, safer, and more accurate. For those that are new to Scanifly, we are a PV design and field operations solar software. Our goal is to eliminate the manual workflow that occurs to get a project to completion. Right? So, for example, solar contractors don't have to do the old school way like Sam the surveyor does. This process takes hours or days and leads to missed data and unsafe roof climbs. Instead, just fly a drone to collect perfectly accurate measurements and digitize the entire electrical, structural, and property data in the Scanifly mobile app. From there, PV designers work with a photorealistic 3D model full of all the details on site, instead of guessing what the scratch paper says that the designer got. Right? Within minutes, add modules, do shading analysis, take this to CAD, and you can generate a plan set. Right? So using Scanifly's technology, contractors can go from post-sale to install in 90% less time. And that's while eliminating any fitment issues on install day. From a Scanifly perspective, focusing on the product, we were founded in 2018 as a drone-based PV design software. Like a lot of you might know us as the drone guys. But then in 2022, we introduced Scanifly Mobile for site survey, install, and PTO processes. This gave Scanifly a platform in the field. And we followed that in 2023 by adding a design optimization and plan set service, which put all the key design and operational functions in one place. And then in late 2023, last year, right, we built a software for Sebastian, the sales rep. Now, people like Sebastian range from newly minted setters and closers to incredibly savvy technical energy consultants who love multi-hour kitchen table sessions. Sebastian loves telling homeowners why going solar makes financial sense. He's an expert on explaining the difference between loans and leases, and he can sniff out a homeowner who would benefit from an all-cash deal. Sebastian can do a little bit of design work. He isn't the most technical, having served as an HVAC sales rep before joining the solar industry. So why is Scanifly working with salespeople like Sebastian now? So there's several reasons. First, Scanifly's goal is to be a leader in PV system design, and salespeople are involved in the PV system design process in various ways. Secondly, the market is changing. The last 1 to 2 years, we've seen a big shift in the solar industry, which has led to a project getting to PTO feeling like a never-ending ping pong match. Their higher interest rates and inflationary environments are creating more friction for salespeople. This emphasizes quality sales and weeds out high-flying sales tactics. There is much more government regulation in sales motions, cancellation periods, and contract terms, and the Treasury and other agencies are getting involved to protect consumers. Finance company requirements are heightening, and therefore we're seeing greater stipulations and rejections, change orders, and clawbacks on milestone payments and commissions. Some sales softwares have also gotten astronomically expensive, right? So the takeaway is that as an industry, we have to sell in a more quality-oriented way, and that's what Scanifly is an expert in, right? And we have to design in a more quality-oriented way. And as a result, we need to rethink our workflows and potential partners. Also, homeowners are just sick of being overpromised and underdelivered on things like shading, production, and offset. They're getting more educated. They're seeing all the Google reviews of solar's worst practices, and they're starting to be able to sniff out when they're presented with good data or not such good data. And these rapid changes are leading to pretty drastic adjustments for sales reps too. Operations really impact sales, and sales reps are taking notice. Here are 3 examples. First, a sales rep's commission is directly determined by the amount and timing of when a system reaches substantial completion in PTO. If that project has a notable change order or is delayed, you better expect the sales rep's commission to go up or down in value, and maybe they're not going to get paid for a while. Working with the right EPC also matters. They can be a worthy partner and ensure that it gets to PTO quickly and everyone gets paid, or not. And third, how operations are handled will reflect the sales rep's capabilities. If done right, this will lead to more referrals. And if done wrong, a whole neighborhood might not want to work with that sales rep. So choosing the right ops partner can make all the difference. And for salespeople, this changing landscape can feel like your commissions are a mirage in the desert, less accessible and drifting away, or really close by. So if you choose the right operations partner, it doesn't have to be that way. So for all these reasons, last year we created Scanifly Prelim, an intuitive, affordable remote design tool that fits perfectly into our design and field operations ecosystem. The platform uses map providers, LiDAR for shading, and other remote data. You can order a max fill within minutes or design on the go on tablet. This design software is specifically built for sales reps. Scanifly is not a proposal or financing tool, though. You have all your design work in one place, and as of this summer, you can now integrate it with several great options. So in June, we announced an integration with Sunrise Technology, a leading solar software and CRM for EPCs and financing solutions. In July, we announced an integration with Energy Toolbase, the industry's leading proposal and energy modeling solution for commercial solar. And now we're integrated with SubcontractorHub to provide the best of both worlds for all personas in residential solar. This creates a singular workflow and maximizes a company's software stack. And here's how the workflow can look. The combination of our 2 softwares, Scanifly and SubcontractorHub, provide the best of both worlds for all personas in the residential solar industry. This creates a singular workflow and maximizes individual stacks. And it's an exciting opportunity at a very unique time in the industry where things can be simpler, more streamlined, lower cost, and at a higher value alternative. As I mentioned, I'm Jason Steinberg, the CEO of Scanifly. I started in solar over a decade ago as an installer, and I spent time in solar research and finance before leading Scanifly's revenue functions and product roadmap. Joining me today is Santiago Jaramillo, a Scanifly sales engineer, who will demo the integration in a moment. He has a background in engineering and PV system design, previously working on creating solar and storage solutions for a national solar contractor. And Kelvin Hayes is the VP of sales at SubcontractorHub. Kelvin has worked in various solar sales roles for almost 15 years, including for several nationwide leading solar installers where he oversaw demand gen, go-to-market, and partnership teams. And I'll turn it over to Kelvin now to share more about SubcontractorHub and what this integration means for them and the industry, after which he and Santiago will provide a brief walkthrough.
Great. Jason, thanks for that. Love the intro. Super excited for the partnership and very grateful to be on with all of our attendees today. So where we're going to go with this, we'll get to Santiago in a moment. I want to screen share, and just if someone wouldn't mind just confirming that you guys can see what's on my screen.
Looks good.
Great. So where we want to go with this is to help for everyone that's on the call today understand the power of Scanifly and SubcontractorHub together. And Jason touched on this in a number of different ways. And I want to sum it up by saying that if you can consolidate all of your pre-sale and post-sale software stack into one smooth flow, and you can do that in a way that saves you significant money and also keeps you compliant and highly accurate from sale all the way through to install, that's a winning solution. And to date, we've done 350 million in transaction volume through SubcontractorHub, and it's nationwide EPCs, both large and small, who are seeing an opportunity to consolidate, simplify their flow, make it easier for the salesperson and the ops to do what they do best in a way that is seamless. So what I want to show you here is at a very broad level over the next minute, what SubcontractorHub does when Scanifly is bolted on. So we are lead capture, referral capture, proposal, and also project management baked into one login. So on the lead capture side, we can white label a solution that allows for you to capture leads, including design, and also allow those leads to select your financing partners, get qualified, and potentially even make a purchase directly from your website. So this is a great way at the top of the funnel to capture high quality leads and give them a ton of value, while also potentially allowing you to log into your computer in the morning and find a new sale from someone who purchased the night before from your website. Along with that, we also give you the ability to allow your homeowners and your sales reps to collect referrals through our ambassador technology. So this gives either the homeowner or the sales rep shareable links with cookie connections that allow for anyone to evangelize your company and track the results of the referrals that they've collected through their efforts. So great way at the top of the funnel to drive business directly into SubcontractorHub. And once your rep is in SubHub, they're able to create multiple quotes using the Scanifly design technology as the foundation of the quote. They can also do roof quotes as well. And once they're ready to complete that design and move into building the quote, where we really excel is we give the rep the ability to price multiple financing options all from one window. So a quick story on that is when I was in the seat selling, I would sell a lease product and a loan product from two separate providers. And if the customer asked for a loan and I showed up to the house with that information, and all of a sudden in the middle of the conversation, they want to look at a lease, it would take me 20-30 minutes to redo that design in a separate finance portal. With SubcontractorHub, you eliminate that completely and allow the rep to, with one or two clicks, bounce between financing options very quickly and lead that directly into a white labeled proposal that allows them to pitch the customer, as well as allowing the customer to come back to this link to start the qualification process. So within Subcontractor Hub, you're not only building the quote, you're also signing the customer. So we have e-sign built in. And then from there, you can potentially move that customer either into your operations CRM, or we provide a complete end-to-end sale to PTO project management platform that's fully customizable for your business. That allows your ops team to run everything, including the Scanifly designs, directly in Subcontractor Hub. We also include a customer portal that will allow for email and text updates to notify your customer as the project moves through its various stages. Very easy to add your sales organizations in as individual offices. And also, we have a network of sales organizations existing on the platform that you can request to connect with to drive additional volume. So our whole mission is simplify, make it easier for you to collect and convert on leads, and also grow your business with other partners on the network. So with that high-level overview, I'm sure there's going to be some questions we can jump into at the end. I'd like to hand it over to Santi to go through the demo. So thanks for your attention on that. And Santi, if you want to go ahead and
absolutely
take off, I will kill my screen share.
Perfect. You guys should be able to see my screen right now. Thanks, Kelvin, for that intro. Super excited to show you guys what we have. So I'm going to start by pretty much showing you the experience from a sales rep's perspective, right? So what you're seeing on the screen right now, it's my dashboard in Subcontractor Hub. So here are a few leads that I have. Let's just go to Mr. David Jackson here real quick. You can see their contact info here, their appointments, and then here's my project information. So I'm just gonna open here, view detail. A couple of things you can do at this point is what we want to do here is sync our design that we've done in Scanifly, right? So there's two options depending on the type of workflow that you currently have at your company. If you have people that are designing the houses, you know, from scratch, doing all the roof tracing, you can still do that. Or to streamline the process, you can also order a design from Scanifly. I'm going to show you the how that looks like if you were to order a design. It will just simplify things and streamline the process. So as you probably saw here, I clicked design in Scanifly. It's going to open your Scanifly account and it's going to open this project. So here you can see this was done, you know, either again by your team, or you can request a design through Scanifly. We'll build all the vegetation. We'll build all the roof planes. You can see when I opened this, it was showing the radiance maps, a really nice visual. You can also do a nice simulation for shade here. You can change the different times of the day, the different times of the year. And let's say you're talking to a customer live, you can show them this. It's a really nice way to show and visualize shade. Also informs the design. It's like, I'm going to avoid this different areas of the roof because, you know, it's going to be completely shaded. Here on the left, the design process is going to be pretty straightforward. Utility bill, this information comes from what you input in Subcontractor Hub. You can also make changes and it'll sync back to Subcontractor. I'm going to click here system, and you're going to see how we have some modules. So really what I'm going to do here is based on what I'm trying to provide to my customers, I'm just going to highlight the modules that I want active. So it's a really, really easy design process. You can see here your offset, the production. Maybe you do need to add a couple more panels because you want to go, you want to hit 100% offset. Maybe you want to go a little bit over, but you can see the design process. It's pretty easy. Again, if you want to remove, you just want to highlight those modules again, and it will sync. You can also review the details here. So you can see the different roof planes. You see how they highlight the pitch of the roof, the azimuth, some shading analysis that's being done there in the background for you as well. And really what's left here, I'm just going to press finalize design. All this information is going to sync back to Subcontractor Hub, all the project details, the shading analysis, the production estimates as well. So this is going to take a few seconds here to save. And then I'll show you how that looks like on the other side, where you're going to be able to generate your proposals, add the financing, and all the extra details as well. So let's give here a quick minute. It's finalized. I'm going to go back to Subcontractor Hub. I'm going to sync my designs. You see here how it's now showing that system size. I'm just going to sync my data here real quick as well. synced successfully there. We're just going to go ahead here. If you need to add the inverters, for example, or make any changes, you can do that as well. It's going to have a screenshot of that design. Let me see.
And while Santiago is loading that, so what we've seen on our side as we look at ourselves as sort of a middleman between the EPC, you guys, and the finance partners, and having an accurate design that falls within compliance is such a critical piece. And oftentimes what we see is the sales team will use one tool, and then the ops team uses a completely different design tool. So not only do you have those cost stacks, but now you have two separate design systems with the potential for variance. And as we all know, the industry has had a massive shift to TPO, and with that, everything, all of the details matter. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know there, but having a system that eliminates additional variances and allows for a high level of compliance is a great way to have peace of mind that the jobs you intake, whether that's an internal sales team or external dealer, you know that more of those are going to end up getting to project complete.
Yep. Perfect. So yeah, we'll just keep going here. Essentially, you can see all the project info. It's syncing. We'll just need to look into the little screenshot here. It will show your full design. But then here, Kelvin will explain us a little bit more as far as what you could add to the proposal. Sure. So we have here a battery section here. Kelvin, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll talk through this a little bit. Put yourself in the shoes of a sales rep. What I want is speed, right? I want when the customer calls me and says, "Hey, I'm interested in a quote," oftentimes they're going to want to see lots of different options. So we're going to want to build something very quickly, but you want to do that without having to spend money on every single address and proposal that you do. And so our model is based on billing the contractor when the install is complete. So you're completely eliminating or vastly reducing the amount of sales costs that you have to win business. So part of that, if I'm a sales rep and I'm in a market like California, I want to be able to have an intelligent conversation about batteries. We have a ton of logic here. One of the cool things is the ability for the sales rep to select a battery. And when they do that, we can round trip a calculation that looks at the utility bill, the solar system, and the performance of the battery. And we will project the remaining utility bill that's available with that combination of systems. So the days of saying, hey, yeah, solar is going to offset 100%, but now with this new rate plan, who knows how much is left over? We're eliminating that by saying, Mr. Customer, when you add a battery, your remaining utility bill from nighttime usage is going to go almost to zero. So it's a great way to sell additional products, up your average sales price. So we have that built in. If you scroll down, Santi, obviously, when we onboard EPCs, we add all of their adders, all of the logic, all of the panels. So your sales reps, especially if they're dealers, they never need an adder sheet. They never need what panels you're selling. When they log in, whatever you have activated is showing in their window. So it's a very easy way to not only onboard, but keep your dealers and your sales reps in the know and with bumpers. Now, when you get to the financing section, I touched on this a minute ago. The key here is speed. Can I show a light reach deal, a good lead deal, a sunlight deal, IGS, Brightstar? Can I stack any of the financing options that you have, even credit unions, and allow my sales rep to price those quickly side by side with a high level of autonomy? So this keeps your reps on track, but also gives them tremendous flexibility over the phone or in the home to adjust as the sales conversation evolves. Once they've landed on an option, they can then either send the proposal out via link to screen share, or if they're at the kitchen table, they can pull that directly up. And then they can go through a fully branded proposal that will have your logos and all of your information. So like I said, we've done just over 350 million in sales volume through the platform this year using this proposal structure. And then ultimately, if the customer is ready to move forward, they can click a link here in the proposal to start the credit process. Or Santi, if you hop back into SubcontractorHub, the selected financing option will allow you to send the credit application and sign documents. So you wouldn't need an additional third-party e-sign software. You can do that all the way through our platform. And then once you've signed and met all of the requirements, let's say customer ID, utility bill, et cetera, you can move that project into close one, at which point it would go into your CRM for your ops team, or if you're using our backend solution, you would have your ops team be able to run that in SubcontractorHub. So if I sum all of that up and bring it all back together, it is keep it simple, speed up your sales flow, make it easier for your entire organization to transact solar, and do it in a way that doesn't cost you the same way that you're used to paying for these kind of tools in the past.
Perfect. Thanks, Kelvin, for that. So yeah, we're pretty much, connecting the design tool with your proposal capabilities now here in SubHub. So this would be, again, what the sales rep would see. Let's say now job moves forward. Now we're moving on to a site survey. Let me show you all the fields ops capabilities that Scanifly has to offer. So I'm going to switch now to show you a couple of things about Scanifly. So surveyor now shows up to the site. They're going to be able to conduct a site survey using our mobile app. This will enable them to follow a predefined checklist that you can set up, fully customizable. And the surveyor just needs to show up, open the project, open the checklist, start taking photos, filling out the information. We have really nice annotation features here as well, as you can see. So if you just want to label the spacing between the rafters or the rafter sizes, or maybe you want to annotate a main panel, we have these really, really cool solar specific labels here. So surveyors collecting all the data, all of that will sync into the Scanifly pages where all of your data will be stored. So this is the same project that we were connecting with SubHub. Now, if I go here to the site data section, you're going to find different albums where you can store all of those photos from the site survey. So in this point, someone, a designer or an operations manager is coming here, reviewing the information, making sure that everything is good, and it's good to proceed to next steps. So albums are fully customizable. I just have two generic ones, electrical and structural. You can add more. You can also connect your different albums to different fields to keep things organized. So in this case, I had all of my structural fields in the checklist connected to a structural album, but you can add multiple folders at the same time as well. Here's just a quick example of that. We'll review the images. You can download that. If you also want to review, let's say, the actual site survey report, you can export a PDF of that. It's going to have all the survey information. So depending on what you have in your checklist or your forms, here's an example of that. Here's a nice example of those labels being used just to annotate the spacing between the rafters. So it's really nice, a really nice way of also digitizing the process. It's very common that companies are still using pen and paper, still drafting things by hand, and it's a little bit inconvenient down the road. The other step would be a quick drone flight. So instead of having your surveyors get on the roof, spend 30-40 minutes measuring, just go ahead, put the drone in the air. We're going to fly a couple circles around the house. So this is an example of that flight. For a typical residential site, you can expect this to be, around 5-7 minutes at most. So it's a really nice and easy process. You're just flying a drone, collecting photos, and you'll upload that to your site data as well. Now, what we're going to do with those images is we're going to stitch them together, and we're going to create a 3D model that's to scale. So I have one here open already for you guys. So this is now the version of that same project that we started using, satellite image and LiDAR and Google 3D. Now we actually have a virtual replica of that house. So this will really inform you of obstructions present on the roof, the actual height of the trees or the vegetation around the house. So you eliminate all the guesses and all the estimates that you're doing in that preliminary design. So again, this is a really nice way of validating your design. You see here your roof planes. You can review your roof dimensions. You have the azimuth, the tilt of the roof. And then really what's left here is I'm going to pull up here my initial design, see what was sold here, and I'm pretty much going to match it. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to come here to the segment, select the module that I want to use, the orientation, and I'm going to press fill. The software will max out the roof. I can do a little bit of an adjustment. This is something typically that, the designers or the engineers would do, tweak the arrays a little bit just for better production or just to avoid obstructions. So let me just also do that here on this other roof plane. Let's just go in high. The software will do a shading analysis, which is the little circles that you're seeing on each module. This, we call them view sheds, is a proprietary shading analysis tool. This is similar in idea to what a solidmetric sun eye is. So instead of getting on the roof and taking those measurements or shade readings manually, you're just going to go ahead and do it in the software digitally. This is going to give you that kind of like 360 view, and it's actually looking to in the 3D scene, seeing if there's anything that's heavily shading your modules. Same thing, I can still run that nice simulation that I showed in the other one. This one, again, it's going to be more accurate because you know exactly, like I said before, where the trees are and how trees look. Okay. Again, you can see your production numbers here. You can compare your design, see, okay, if there's any changes, maybe the final designer had to make some adjustments to the layout, or there was a change in production because trees were not estimated correctly, or trees have grown, whatever the case may be. You can also send this back to SubcontractorHub to redo a proposal, revise the numbers, and then get a new signature from your customer. But really from here, if you want to take it now to the next step, which would be your engineering process, your permitting process, all you need to do is come here to the export section. You can export shade reports if you need utility approval, you need it for financing approval. You can get those shade reports. You can also export the DXF file for engineering. And it's going to look like this. So it's going to have your full design, all the setbacks, all the obstructions, as you see there, a really nice map view and orthomosaic image generated from that 3D model. And then we have different roof planes here. So this really streamlined that design process, hopefully eliminating a lot of the manual process that entails creating a plan set. Okay. And then, yeah, that's it. Again, all the information lives in Scanifly. If you need to make any changes to designs, need a new proposal, you can sync that back to SubcontractorHub. And like, again, what we're saying is you're really validating those designs to make sure you're not going to have any problems on the road at installation, and really just give your customers the best possible experience. I think that's it for the demo. So I don't know if we want to move back to Jason and Kelvin for Q&A.
Yeah, thanks, Santiago and Kelvin. That's awesome. We did have a bunch of questions come through, so we'll now turn it over to the Q&A part. Santi, if you want to turn off the screen share, perfect. So we have questions for both SubcontractorHub and Scanifly, and then combos. So I'll read through them and we'll address them as they come in. The first one we have here is how would sales orgs use SubcontractorHub? And then similarly, there's another question later on is I'm an EPC. Where would I fit in the subcontractor universe? So I think, Kelvin, that's probably best for you.
Sure. Yeah, so I'll keep this quick, but I'll give you a visual as well. So if your primary source of intake of jobs is from third-party sales orgs, we have a feature in SubHub called Offices. And what that allows you to do with a few clicks is to provide a no-cost account to the main point of contact for that dealer. And then the dealer can go in and upload all of their sales reps as users. And we don't have any limit on the number of users that can be active on your account. So it's a very fast way. We've seen 100, 150 sales orgs for an EPC get onboarded within 24 hours just by providing an office link to each one of them. And you can control the red lines, the territories, the access level that each have. So look at it like your entire account, and you're giving them a small little room within your account to conduct business directly into you. So easy way to do it. And of course, if you've got connected organizations that are already on SubcontractorHub, some of our largest dealers, they have their own standalone accounts because they have various EPCs in various markets. You can connect with them using the sales organization feature, and we can help you with that to find the right sales orgs in the right markets to drive additional volume.
Awesome, Kelvin. Thank you. Next question is about shading analysis. So probably, Santiago, over to you. The question is about how does Scanifly's shading analysis work, both remote and on-site? I think it's asking about both.
Perfect. So on the remote side, essentially you're using the different layers that we have as an option. So it could be LiDAR, Google 3D. You can also build the vegetation as I showed you, where we have a library of different trees that look as realistic as possible. It's not just like cones or just like circles there. So you're still trying to get as accurate as possible on that side. The nature of a remote design is that they're still estimates, right? You're still relying on remote data and could be a couple of years old, could be outdated. Maybe trees are no longer there. So that translating that to the 3D modeling, how that works there is that the drone images are pretty much real-time information, right? It's real-world context. A surveyor collected that data in the morning. A designer is doing that or finalizing the design a couple hours after that. So you know exactly what's there. Everything is to scale. And that's what the software is using for collecting all your solar access percentages, TSRF values as well. You can generate the shade reports that are approved by most regulators and lenders in the industry too. So if you need financing, utility approval, you can just generate those shade reports from Scan.
Awesome, thank you. Let's build off that topic. Kelvin, over to you. There's a question about which finance companies are available through SubcontractorHub.
Yeah, it might be easier to exclude the ones. So we're currently not working with Everbright. They have their own origination tool that they prefer. Outside of that, whether you're talking about loan or TPO options, we run the gamut. So GoodLeap, their TPO and loan products, Sunlight, IGS, Brightstar, which is Service's new TPO product that is in beta currently, only through SubcontractorHub. We also have a manual lender section where you can put in rate, term, and payment factor for your local credit union, and you'll be able to price those quotes directly within the tool. So pretty much all of it.
Awesome. That sounds like a pretty extensive list. Excellent. Next question is, what is the difference in software permissions and accessibility for sales reps versus designers and engineers in Scanifly? And something I suspect this one builds off of kind of Scanifly's history of really focusing on ops people originally and designer personas, and obviously now we're showcasing software for sales reps. So if you want to provide a clear comparison between the two, feel free to share your screen if that's helpful as well.
No, that's a great question. So essentially what we're building for sales reps is a more simplified version of the full Scanifly suite. We understand sales reps need something that they could do pretty quickly. They just want to pretty much fill out a roof, show a customer how many panels they can fit, the production numbers, and talk about the financials. So as you can see here, this is the sales rep view. There's different permissions that you can adjust in Scanifly. So in this view, it's a sales rep. It has a permission that is a sales mode pretty much. So you can see how it's pretty much limited to adding panels, removing panels, and seeing the information. For a final design for an engineer, maybe even an ops manager, this would be their view. So there's a lot more they can do here. They can customize more of the fire setbacks, for example, if they need to adjust that. They can add or remove trees if a customer is going to cut a tree down or is interested in trimming a tree. You can also get more information as far as, let's say, wall space. If you need to measure, let's say you're installing here in this wall and you need to get more information about the space that's available there. So you have much more functionality that's typically needed more on the final stages of a design.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that when we recently made the simple design user interface for sales reps, or the design environment for sales reps, we wanted to keep it as clean and straightforward as possible, as presentable to homeowners, as intuitive. And there's a variety of permissions throughout users in Scanifly, but we wanted to make something that sales reps could easily use in the field as well. So we've tested it with a bunch of sales orgs and really excited to roll it out with SubcontractorHub.
Hey, Jason, if you don't mind, I just wanted to circle back on your finance question to call out SolRite. They are exclusively originating through SubcontractorHub, California and Texas, as well as Puerto Rico. And that's, for anyone that's not aware, a amazing combination of the Sonnen battery, one of the gold standards in residential energy storage, combined with a financing product that's backed by Shell Oil, which allows for tremendous pricing when you stack a battery and solar together. And we've seen that in Texas and California be a really exciting product. Any arrow that you as a contractor can have to give your sales reps that edge is huge. So I just wanted to call that out.
Fantastic. You know, we've heard that becoming increasingly popular in markets where batteries are becoming mainstays. Next question that came in, I think, Kelvin, this one is probably best directed to you, and we can jump in after your answer if needed. The question is, will this offering replace older design options supported in SubcontractorHub? And is there any subscription bundle with Scanifly, or do we have to have accounts with both tools?
Yeah, so if I'm understanding that question, let's say you're an existing subcontractor user and you have a bunch of designs that you want to go back to, and you want to use the Scanifly technology to streamline and sort of clean up your existing pre-sale opportunities. The answer is yes. So you can go in and very easily in the customer object create a new proposal. I'll just do a quick screen share just to give you guys that visual. When you're in the customer object, you can see here that you have any number of proposals that are generated. So this could be roof and solar together, roof only, solar only, battery only, and the rep would simply come in, create a new proposal, and select Scanifly once you are signed up and have an account with Scanifly. In terms of how we set things up, really simple. Jason's team does a great job of getting the Scanifly account set up. And then our team with SubcontractorHub will help connect and integrate that into your account with SubcontractorHub. So you would need to have both, but the integration is seamless. We do all the heavy lift for you, and it usually can be done within a day or less to get everything connected.
Thanks. And I'll add that both the Scanifly and the Subcontractor teams work closely together for onboarding, especially if your intention is to work with both platforms. We have had Scanifly contractors be introduced to SubcontractorHub and had a really phenomenal experience switching to their experience there, and then vice versa. So we're able to onboard together and really help facilitate the integration. Santiago, there's a question for you about drones. This is actually two now. I'm seeing two come in. I'll combine both of them. All right. So who owns the drone? What do people recommend to purchase drone-wise? And then the second part of it is, how tough is it to learn the drone side of things?
Yes. So you would own the drone, you as the solar company. Really, for us, a drone is just another tool in your toolkit, right? Just as you have a ladder, you'll just add a drone to that. What drones we recommend, or what drones are compatible with Scanifly, you have a variety of options. We made this intentionally drone agnostic, so you can buy the highest end drone if you want full automation, making sure you know it's gonna fly automatically for you, take the photos for you. There's a couple options that would do that. You're gonna have like obstacle avoidance. There's gonna be other options. Maybe you don't want to spend a lot of money on a high-end drone. You can get other drones that will have a little bit less of, let's say, obstacle avoidance. They'll still fly automatically. There might be a little bit more lightweight. So there's different price points. And we really, again, it's intentional. So you're not locked into specific environment. We don't want something like, the manufacturer stops supporting a drone and now you have obsolete drones in your fleet, for example. You can go ahead and not use Scanifly and then go ahead and you can buy another one. So yeah, we have a list of recommended drones depending on what you're looking for as far as automation, obstacle avoidance, safety, price points, but there's different options. It's not difficult to learn how to fly a drone. Honestly, again, most of the work will be done by the drone itself, flying automatically. It's a matter of just really getting comfortable with the controls. Takes a couple of tries really to get up to speed and be really comfortable with flying the drone.
Kelvin, there's a follow-up question on the financing side. Is Sonova supported as an integration in SubcontractorHub? We've had to use Catalyst in the past for all Sonova PPA deals like Everbright, but if they're integrated with SubcontractorHub, we definitely prefer using that.
Yes, yeah, we are. It is as far as we're aware, the only non-Catalyst sales engine that you can use. So yes. And that would allow you to patch utility, run patch title, run the credit authorization, send documents, everything required to win the customer. That pushes over into Sunnova's side. And then, of course, your ops team would still need to access their portal to complete the project.
Santiago, I think this is an interesting question to go to next, especially since our software is very visual. So the question is, how can you use Scanifly data to showcase designs to customers?
Yeah, so you definitely want to be able to showcase the final design, what you've done for your customers. So let me just share my screen. We have a really, really nice tool that's called the Share tool. It's right here on the left. So really what you need to do here is you're going to take some screenshots of this 3D model. So you can see I added some here. I'm just pressing the box. The software takes a screenshot of that view, so you can really customize different views. You're going to add some information here. It's really just point of contact on your company. And then you can generate a link that it's intended to be shared with, a customer. So you're going to have the project name here, contact info at your company, your customer's information. You're going to see some system information here as well. Your company logo will go here on the left side. And you can see here the different screenshots. But really the best of all is taking advantage of having that 3D model. So you'll be able to send them this really nice animation that showcases, the final project. Let's say you're gonna get a final sign off, pretty much. Hey, Mr. Customer, permits that in. This is what we're gonna build for you. Get them excited. It creates that wow factor really, and it's a really, really nice touch. So yeah, this would be the share tool. You can see the animation there with some shade, and then they can just interact with the 3D model as well afterwards.
Another question that came through here, Kelvin, this one's for you. The question asked, what makes SubcontractorHub unique compared to other proposal financing project management tools like Aurora, SolarGraph, and OpenSolar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could sum it up in two ways. The biggest thing that I think will matter to a contractor is every penny counts, right? And ultimately, you guys get attacked from a number of different angles to pay for software and to pay for labor, to pay for equipment. Our mission is to simplify the process and make it more affordable. So our pricing structure is such that you can have unlimited users, unlimited sales orgs, you can do unlimited proposals. When you win the deal, or when the deal has glass on the roof, that's when we trigger the billing. And that's based on the finance partner. So from a savings perspective, you're going to have that. If you look at the process though, if you can sell Sunnova and LightReach and GoodLeap and SolRite all within one window, and you can do that without exorbitant fees in terms of proposal costs, that's a huge win. And then tying that directly into your CRM on the back end for operations is a big piece. We call that the dirty work in the industry, is the integrations, and we excel at that. We've got a dev team of over 70 people that are focused on those connections. So it makes it, to Jason's point earlier, very easy for someone to bring Scanifly and SubcontractorHub and their various tools all together, and then your team has one place to log in, and that's SubcontractorHub.
Great. I think from our perspective as well, the different tooling that SubcontractorHub has for the different roles in the industry and how it centralizes everything in one place is phenomenal. And so we're really excited to be one of their design partners for every step of the design and ops process. The slide that we showed, you really can see you need two softwares. You need one that helps PV design, field ops, etc. You need one that really works with sales proposals, financing, project management. We've seen the software stack get quite bloated, and this is a great way to streamline process. Yeah, sorry, Kelvin, you're gonna close out.
Just to lean into that, the other piece is that we're a network. So nationwide sales orgs and EPCs participate on the platform. So when you join SubcontractorHub, it's not just a proposal tool or e-sign or financing. It's also your ability to connect with additional partners to take more volume. And I know everyone is hungry for additional jobs as long as they're clean and compliant. And so that's a big piece that our team works on is, hey, you're in the Florida market, let's find a great sales org that can get another 25 jobs a month to you, kind of thing. So it's all about growing your business and doing it in a way that makes sense financially.
Fantastic. There's a quick question here about the Scanifly mobile app. Does that integrate with SubcontractorHub? I'll just take that one. It does. SubcontractorHub has a couple of integrations for field ops, and our mobile app is one of them, where you can submit imagery, checklists, a variety of things that could be submitted for a milestone payment. So that is as part of this integration. All right, I think that's it on the question front. Kelvin or Santi, any final words that you want to share?
Santi, anything from you? I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, I hope it was informative. Again, we're aiming here just to try to centralize the information in one place, make it as easy as possible for sales reps, but also designers. So
yeah. Great. And I think as far as next steps, Jason and I talked about this. I think it makes a ton of sense for anyone that's interested in learning more. Go ahead and reach out to Jason and their team. They've done a fantastic job with fielding those questions and getting the Scanifly side set up. And then we can take the baton from there and set up the SubcontractorHub side. So if you do want to learn more, reach out to Jason's team, and then they'll do the job of connecting us to bring everything together. And we're excited for that opportunity.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for your attention, for joining us. Again, there is a recording, and hopefully we'll be in touch. Have a great rest of the day. Take care.
Thanks, guys.